My name is Professor Job Amupanda. I am a political scientist by training. I also study history, and I'm part of the City Council, but responsible primarily for the Heritage Committee that deals with museum, arts and cultures and streets and public spaces. So we've been involved in a lot of activities like that. Very interesting is that obviously Germany is a colonial imperial power, as we have understood, and the common narrative was always that of the colonizer. So what we saw, for example, with the Herero Stone and what the activists and civil society and the academics and historians have been doing is quite very interesting, because they were able to project a counter narrative in terms of what was happening, where it is described that it's a Herero Stone, but it's nothing to do with the history of genocide. It's a mere symbol that was called celebrating the so-called heroes during that colonial period. And the very interesting developments where I think it's in the 1970s or so, where they wanted to commemorate other soldiers again, and things like that. So it's quite very interesting, and the counter narrative. So I'm raising that this is very important and very interesting, because it is not something that we imagine, that inside Germany there are people who are thinking about the importance of dealing with colonial memory, the importance of dealing with questions such as the genocide, and what the Germans have done. And you would see, for instance, what has happened with the Nazi period. Everything is documented, everything. It is fresh in the memories of what the Nazis have done. And this is 1940 something, 1930, 1940 something. But genocide, I mean, the 1904 genocide is the first genocide of the 20th century, but you don't find much of it. So it is very important, and I'm glad that there are people who are thinking differently, because part of our thinking, and some of us, we didn't really expect to see Germans who are thinking about correcting the narrative so that the history can really tell the true account of what has happened historically. So it is really humbling to see that. And I guess that starts an opportunity to do something, to engage, because we have now seen that's we are taking it home, we are thinking about it, and it will assist us to be able to deal with what is it that we can do to collaborate, dealing with the question of colonial memory. How do we deal with it going forward?